So since we're starting with a small group, we're still waiting for some people to sign in, and people might trickle in later, but I want to take this opportunity just to check in with you guys. Because the class is titled Yoga for Your Dosha, obviously it would be impossible for me to treat every individual's doshic imbalance. So the class will contain a variety of ways to pacify all of the dosha. And then, of course, we will have specific classes that just are focusing on one dosha, maybe one seasonal influence or an emotion or even an element. But this morning, if you guys are open to it, share with me 3 qualities that are kind of elevated for you right now.
Cory, can I ask a question? By qualities, are you saying like there's too much? Well, I know right now for me, there's a lot of heat.
Yeah.
So, as well as a lot of dryness. So is that what you mean?
Yep, that's exactly what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. Give me one more.
Maybe some heaviness also.
Okay, perfect. Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hannah, do you feel like sharing? Look at you in your beautiful space there.
Oh, I love it.
Love it.
So I too have some heaviness.
Okay.
Like a little bit of kapha, but then my constant mind of the fast moving vata energy.
Okay. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Together.
Great, great.
For me, it's mine's kind of annoying because I just realized it's I have some hot, which is pretty normal for me. But then I have some sticky. I was a little late on my lunch today, so I got a little bit of sticky, slimy going up in here.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I got mobile, Chala mobile mind, pretty normal for me as well.
Good. It's interesting, even though they're not exactly the same, we do have some overlap in qualities, which is nice for me to work with. Tage, I know, oh, you just disappeared. I know where Hannah and Richie are beaming in from. Where are you beaming in from? Oh, you're muted.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm from Dallas, Texas.
Oh, awesome. Okay, cool. Thank you. Where are we at for time? Oh, 10:02. 10:02. I think we have a small class this morning, so I'm going to take this opportunity to get us started. Oh, there's a few more people trickling in.
Someone on Instagram was asking if you could suggest yoga for PCOD.
Yeah, so to the question on Instagram, just so you guys know, we're live on Instagram right now trying to let people know that we've got this class started. And we just got a question that was asking about yoga for polycystic ovarian syndrome. That's a pretty specific syndrome for us to create, but definitely there's some needed quality of regularity in one's diet and lifestyle. And of course some pitta management as well. So while I can't quickly give you a specific asana, I will share Dr. Ladd's best answer for yoga: camel, cobra, cow, boat, bow, bridge, lotus, locust, lion. And so just incorporating a couple of those postures there. We could talk about each set of 3 being specific for one dosha, but you can pick 1 or 3 or 2 of those postures and do it slow and always with your breath, and you will pacify the vata and pitta dosha. But of course, that syndrome requires much more of an understanding of your complete story. I hope that's helpful. Kristen's in the waiting room.
Hey, Cory, since you have a moment in between, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
So I got an astringent spray, like a spray, like with, it's like aloe, but it has witch hazel in it. Do you know much about witch hazel?
I know that witch hazel does have that astringent or drying quality. So it's like a good refresher. It's good for toning the skin. It's good for cleaning impurities off the skin. I try not to use it when I'm feeling already very dry.
Got it.
Richie tends to freeze every now and then.
Trauma
His screen
response.
freezes, but we can still hear his harmonious voice.
Trauma response, you know, happens.
It's like goat yoga, you know? Hey, Kristen. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm still getting a little feedback. All right, so go ahead and get yourself on your mat and find a comfortable seat. One where your hips can be just a little bit higher than your knees. So if you need to prop yourself up on a towel or a blanket, that's really nice for the back. And I just want to share before we get started that always setting an intention before class is really important. But for today's class, I'd like to offer the intention that you really listen to your body as we move through this tri-doshic series. And I'll offer different ways that we could pacify for different dosha or adjust or augment for different dosha, but really do your best to just listen to you and what your body needs, and don't feel like you have to mimic exactly what I'm doing or what anybody else in the class is doing. Or if you've seen anything that we're doing on like Instagram or social media or magazine, you do not have to look like that picture. You just need to look like you. And so that's my intention suggestion, is just to really listen to yourself today. So we'll start each session with a little bit of sound vibration to help us harmonize with each other. Even though we're separated by time and space, that sound really sees no distance. And so we'll use that as a way to help us create connection and community. So take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And as you exhale, go ahead and let the eyes shut down. Let the palms rest face up or palms up in your lap. And take 3 breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling gently through an open mouth. As you exhale, let your tongue fall into the lower jaw, and this will help to activate the lower 3 chakra, Muladhara, Svadhisthana, and Manipura, helping us to ground and settle. But now shifting your voice to a just regular inhale and exhale through the nose. Maybe lengthening out the exhale just a little bit longer so it matches the inhale. I'm going to start with 3 ohms, and I would love for you to join me. And then, because this is the first of this series, I'm going to share the Ganesh mantra that was shared with me by my teacher, Dr. Ladd. And I'm sure many of you are familiar with it. So if you know it, join me. If not, just let the vibration wash over you. Inviting the next breath in for Om. Gananam tva Ganapatim Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamastravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anaha Shrimvannu Tibihi Siddhasadanam Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Siddhi Buddhi Shakti Sahita Shriman Mahaganadipataye Namo Namaha Nirvignam Kuru. Without opening the eyes, just see if you can settle right back into that even breath. Staying in this closed-eyed, quiet space, I'd just like to offer a moment of gratitude to my lineage, Dr. Vasant Lad, Swami Ashokananda, Swami Satchitananda of the Integral Yoga School, as well as Maria Gare, she's one of my yoga teachers, and Mas Vidal, who's also a brilliant yoga teacher, part of the Integral lineage. And with that, I'd like to share a little reading to get us started from the book entitled The Sacred Relationship of Yoga and Ayurveda, Sun, Moon, and Earth by Mas Vidal. In East Asian Enlightenment traditions, such as the Vedic Hindu, Buddhist, Jain, and Sikh, the laws of karma and rebirth teach us that the soul is eternally one with the universe. Through repeated embodiments, we experience what is called life on this earth as a school, a place to express free will and celebrate the gift of living. So on top of that, I'd like to just remind us that Ayurveda is the science of life and that there is no separation of yoga and Ayurveda. In fact, there is no separation at all. We are all one family, one race, one world. If life on earth is school for our soul, then Ayurveda and yoga surely are the manual for this class. Okay. Go ahead and blink your eyes a few times and come back into the space gently. Good. And we'll start with some really simple joint freeing movements because we want to free up the space that prana moves through in our body. It moves through these channels called nadi, and they intersect at all of our joint spaces. So we want to make sure that they're free and moving clearly. So go ahead and extend your arms out in front of you. Draw the fingers back, send your palms out to me. And then flip the fingers underneath almost as if you could touch the underside of your wrist and really stretch the top and bottom of the wrist. Just go back and forth, maybe 2 or 3 times. Good. And then fingertips straight out towards me and side to side. Yeah. Good. And try that with your fingers together. And try it with your fingers open. Good. And then go ahead and squeeze and open the fists a few times. This helps to move all the tiny little joints in the fingers and the hand. Good. And then hug your thumb with the rest of the fingers. Bring the wrists together and do this circular motion to help further open up that wrist joint. At every joint, there is either a chakra or a marma that can be activated to assist the organs that are connected to that same line. All right, so go ahead and flip it around. Way to catch that switch, Kristen. Good. And then bring the fingertips to the tops of the shoulders, and let's do some big circles with the elbows. Good. And then a little like you're swimming, we'll do one at a time. Good. And then go forward, touching the elbows together out in front of the nose. 3 times. Good. And then one, then the other, swimming forward with the elbows. Good. From here, take your hands down by your sides, fingertips touching the floor, sit up a little bit taller, and then inhale both arms up and over the head. Let your right arm drape over the top of the head as you bring the right ear towards the right shoulder, and then lower your left arm to the side. And so the left arm should be at like a 30-degree angle. It's not touching the floor. It's not straight out. It's somewhere in between. And as you reach into your left fingertips, go ahead and roll that wrist open towards the ceiling, and then back to the floor. And we're not really pulling on our head. We're just letting gravity gently stretch the left side of the neck as we reach into the fingertips. Good. Inhale, taking both arms up. Take the left ear to the left shoulder. Let the left arm drape over, and then extend your right arm out to the side. Good. Somewhere in between here and here. And then just spin the wrist open and closed a few times. Make sure you're breathing. That's one of the most important aspects of a yoga practice, is that we actually keep our movements in rhythm with our breath. Good. And then go ahead and inhale both arms up. And as you exhale, take the fingertips back behind you. Bring the chin to the chest and just roll gently across the front of the chest a few times, further stretching out the neck. Good. Bring the chin to the center and then up. And from here, lean back into the fingertips and extend your feet out in front of you. And just flex the foot and then point the foot. Flex, point, flex, point, flex, point. Good. Now you might need to separate them a little bit. We're just going to point them towards each other and then away, towards each other and away. It kind of makes my mouth start to do funny things. Good. All right, and then squeeze the toes, stretch and spread. Squeeze, stretch, squeeze, stretch. One more time, squeeze and stretch. Good, and then just shake your legs out. Still leaning back into your hands, we're gonna draw the right knee in and out. Switch sides, left knee in and out. Very slowly, drawing the left knee in and out. This is using a huge muscle in the body, the psoas muscle that wraps around the back to the front of your hamstring, to the back of the hamstring. So if you feel a little tight in your hips or in your low back, that might be why. All right, now sitting up tall, we're going to externally rotate the right foot, slide it open, then internally rotate it and slide it back. Switch sides, externally rotate, open that hip, turn the toes back and close. So we're just going to do that on each side 3 times, helping to warm up this big joint of the hip. One more time each side. Good. Shake the legs out and go ahead and come onto your hands and knees. So go ahead and line up the wrists underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. And then take a moment to let yourself settle and to check into all of your joints. So making sure you're not locking the elbows, that there's some give there, that the triceps are active. And then just shift your hips side to side. Start with really small movements. And then with each dip, take your hip a little bit closer to the floor. Getting a nice stretch in the outside of the hips. Great. From here, coming back to neutral. Tops of the feet on the floor, pushing the shoulders out, so protracting the shoulders. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, start to round the tailbone, tucking it underneath. You draw the belly up, squeeze the ribs, push the floor away from you, and then finally bring the chin to the chest. As you inhale, untuck the tailbone. Release the low back, mid back, upper back. Lift the chin, push the floor away from you. Cow pose. Good. Exhale back into cat very slowly and always starting with the tailbone. Staying in rhythm with the breath. Good. Go ahead and do that just a couple more times. And then find your way back to child's pose. And take a moment to rest with your forehead on the floor. Let your arms relax. And as we're here, just take a moment to check in with yourself, noticing the differences that have already occurred. There's already some looseness in the body and the joints. There's heat beginning to build. And I just want to offer, as we move through class today, if you're needing a little bit more vata pacification, if you're feeling into those qualities of dry and mobile, then you're always going to want to opt for an easier, quote unquote, variation of whatever posture we're in, and always coming back to child's pose as a way to ground and gather vata. If you're working with the qualities of hot, maybe a little bit of frustration, more pitta type qualities, then take each opportunity in the postures to expand and stretch versus compress, allowing heat to escape from the body. And I'll share where that is in each posture. And then finally, if you're feeling into the heavy, maybe cold, congestive type qualities of kapha, move more. If we're doing a lunge, make sure to take your arms up overhead so that you activate the Vyana Vayu, you activate the heart, and that gets kapha moving around the body. And if there are any questions at any point in the class, please feel free to use your gestures and let us know. You can write that question in the thread and we'll answer that. Okay, so from here we're activating the Ajna chakra, the third eye point. So go ahead and just turn your head side to side a few times and let the mat gently massage the skin of the forehead. Beautiful. Pause for a moment, finding stillness in the body. And then inhale up to your hands and knees. Make sure that the hands are under the shoulders, the knees are underneath the hips. Turn the toes under and just lift the knees off the floor so that they're parallel to the floor. Hips are high. Or not high, hips, I'm looking pretty parallel there, huh? Good, and then you're gonna press into the hands, take the hips back, but the knees are gonna stay in the same position. Yes, so kind of this really crouching shape. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, start to send the hips up to the sky. Don't try to lock the knees, just send the hips up really high and then pedal 1 foot at a time. Feeling that stretch starting to happen down the backs of the legs, all along the back and into the arms. Good, rise up onto the tippy toes. Press into your hands. See if you can shift the head and shoulders back towards the thighs as you keep protracting out of the shoulders. So don't sink into the low back. This isn't necessarily a back bend. We're trying to find length in the back side of the body. Beautiful. Go ahead and come forward into a plank position. Lower the knees back to the floor and come back to child's pose. Take 2 breaths here. The body is now starting to recognize what's happening. We could have gone anywhere after those joint freeing motions, but now it's clear we're moving into yoga. Inhale, coming back to the hands and knees. Turn the toes under, press the shoulders out from the socket, lift the knees parallel to the mat. Press into your hands, take the hips back, but not necessarily up, and then take the hips sky high. Good, come all the way up onto the tops of your toes, and then melt the heels back down, letting them yearn for the floor without locking out your knees. Good, go ahead and look up at the space between your hands, and very slowly take little tiny steps and walk to the top of the mat, to the middle of the mat actually. And then let the hands finish that journey, and they're going to make their way back towards the feet. And do bend your knees graciously so that we can get some connection with the belly and the thighs. Good, let the head hang down. And if it's comfortable here, take a hold of opposite elbows. And just shake the body side to side. This mic is so on point, you can hear all my huffing and puffing. Good. Shake your head no. Shake your head yes. Good. Release the hands. Bend into your knees nice and deep, and then stick your thumbs into your hip crease. Draw the elbows back, draw the shoulders back, and then start to come up with a nice long back. Press into the feet, take the arms up overhead, look up as you reach up through your ring finger, and then exhale your hands back by your sides. Take one or two more little steps so that you come up to the top 1/3 of the mat. My mat's extra sticky today. Good, and then step the feet apart and just swing the arms. Maybe there's a crack all up the back, helping to release lactic acid that gets stuck in the joint spaces. Good, and then just shake it out. Step the feet back together, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, flutter the lips. Good, soften the knees. We'll start this morning's practice, or we'll continue this morning's practice with Surya Namaskar. Very even paced, keeping in line with our breath so that it's more tridoshic. Because we're in the Vata Kapha season, it's very cold for most of us right now, we're going to start off with the right leg so that we activate our Surya, our solar side first. That will help to create a little bit more heat and mobility in the body. If you're already dealing with a lot of heat, then just take it nice and slow. Make sure you're matching one movement per breath. Okay, take a deep breath in. Unlock your knees, and as you exhale, press the hands together in front of your heart. Gently let the chin tuck in and find a moment of gratitude. As you inhale, take the arms out and up with a big sweeping gesture as if you're gathering prana. And then exhale as you fold forward. Arms can come apart. They can still reach out in front of you, or you can take them to the thighs as we fold all the way down. Good. Go ahead and press your hands into the front of the shin. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Don't look up, but just look more like maybe a foot in front of your mat. And then exhale the hands down. Plant them next to the feet and step back with your right foot. Let this knee come all the way to the floor. Good. Maybe your hands are on blocks. Maybe you're on your fingertips. Maybe the palms are down. Do keep pressing into that back right toe and stomping down through this left foot. Lift your heart. Take a deep breath in here. And then exhale, lift the back knee, engage your belly, press into your palms, and step back into downward dog. Following the breath, inhale, shifting forward into plank pose. Lower the knees, and then start to bring the chest and chin down as you squeeze the elbows into the side of the body. Gently touching down, go ahead and walk the feet back so that you anchor the pubic bone, and then gently lift into baby Bhujangasana. No hands. Exhale, release. Bring the hands by the low ribs. Press up to your hands and knees, and then back to downward dog. Beautiful. Take a breath here. And then inhale the right leg up and back behind you. Keep your hips squared so it doesn't have to go very far. And then exhale, draw the knee towards the nose as you step the right foot forward in between the hands. Set your left knee down. Good. Hands are framing the right foot. Lift the heart, look forward. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, press into the foot, lift the back knee, and step forward. Empty your breath as you fold over your strong legs. Hands to the hips. Engage the shoulders and the elbows. Draw the spine back. And then inhale to come all the way up. Squeeze those abdominal muscles. Release the arms and reach up at the top. Exhale to your heart. Take a breath. Second side. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Unlocking the knees. Exhale to hinge at your hips and fold forward, bringing the chest towards the thighs. Hands to the fronts of the shin. Inhale, look forward. Deep breath in. Exhale, plant the hands, send the left foot back, and set the knee down. Good deep breath in here. Set your heart forward. Try not to throw the chin up. Keep the spine in alignment. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. Take a breath. As you inhale, let that breath pull you forward. Heart opens, chest opens. Exhale the knees down. Elbows tight into the body, lower the chest and chin down towards the floor. And then walk the feet back to anchor the pubic bone and gently lift the heart. Again, no hands. All the work is coming from those erector muscles along the spine. Plant the hands next to the ribs. Press up to hands and knees and back to downward dog. My mat is traveling. Good. From here, inhale the left leg up and back behind you. Keep your hips squared. And then exhale, draw the knee to the nose as you step the left foot forward. Right knee comes down. Inhale, look up. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, press into that back foot. Lift the back knee and squeeze the abdominal muscles and step forward. Exhale, letting out all of the breath. You may notice this is creating some heat in the abdominal organs. This is pacifying for Vata, but not necessarily for Pitta. So for Pitta, you guys do a little bit more wide-legged forward fold so that the heat can escape. Good. From here, hands to the hips, draw the elbows and shoulders back and come all the way up. Look up, reach up, then exhale to your heart. Good. Rest your hands at your sides for a moment. And just take a breath. We're going to move through the next 2 rounds with a little bit more speed. So make sure you're keeping that breath in line with the movements. Your breath might speed up, that's okay, as long as we keep it in line. But if you're losing your breath, don't compromise the breath for the purpose of the posture. Breath should be slow and even. Okay, deep breath in. Unlock the knees, exhale the hands together in front of your heart, activating the Hridya Marma in the palm of the hand. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, fold forward. Hands to the sides of the feet or front of the shin. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant the hands, step the right foot back. Lower the knee down, and this time lift the arms up overhead. Reach up through that ring finger, sink down through the hips, and then exhale the hands down and step back to downward dog. Inhale, shift forward to plank. Exhale, knees, chest and chin to the earth. Walk the feet back. Baby Bhujangasana. Hands are right next to the shoulders. Elbows are drawing back, chest is lifted. Good. Exhale, release that lift just a little bit. Turn the toes under, press up to your hands and knees, and then back to downward dog. Inhale, right leg goes high. Exhale, step it through. Let the left knee come down. And again, sweep the arms up overhead. Reach up through the ring fingers, sink down through the hips. Good. Exhale your hands to the floor. Lift the back knee and step to the top. Empty the breath. From here, press into the fronts of the shins. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Soft knees, arms can come out to the sides as you gather prana, standing all the way up. And then exhale, pull that prana right into the heart. Inhale, reaching out and up. Exhale, softly and slowly folding forward. Inhale, lengthen that spine. Exhale as you step back with the left foot, bringing the left knee down. Good. Inhale the arms up, helping to release heat from the internal organs. Stomp down through that right knee. Exhale the hands to the floor. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale forward into plank. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Squeeze the elbows in. Walk the feet back and lift your heart. Exhale, release. Press back to downward dog. And take a breath. Inhale your left leg up. Exhale, step it through. Right knee comes to the floor, arms come up, reach up. Exhale the hands down. Lift the back knee and step to the top. Empty the breath. And while we're here, take 2 more breaths. And as you exhale, flutter the lips. Good, bending into your knees, hands to the hips, squeeze the elbows and shoulders back as you come all the way up. Reach and gather for that prana. Exhale, draw it into the heart. Last Surya Namaskar. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, sink down into Utkatasana. And for this Utkatasana, just reach your arms straight out in front of you. We're not reaching up, straight out. And just peek down. Can you see your toes? If not, send the weight back into the heels a little bit more. Take another breath here. Squeeze the knees and thighs towards each other. And then exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, send your right foot back. Let the knee come down. And again, sweep the arms up overhead. And if you're feeling nice and strong here, take a deep breath in and exhale, press into that back foot, lift the back leg. Good, and then exhale your hands down and step back to downward dog. Inhale forward into plank, knees, chest and chin to the earth, walk the feet back, baby Bhujangasana. Exhale up through the knees, back to downward dog. Good. From here, extend your left leg up and back behind you. Gently step it through. Right knee comes down this time and arms come up overhead. Reach up, look up, and then exhale the hands down. Lift that back knee and step forward. Empty the breath. Inhale, take the arms out and up. Reach up, look up. Exhale to your heart. Take a moment and stand with your arms at your sides. Unlock the knees and listen for your heart beat. Take a moment to connect with Vyana Vayu, which is a subdosha of Vata that is in control of our circulatory and lymphatic circulation. Notice if you've got a little sweat happening. That's a great way for the body to discharge waste and to discharge excess heat. Beautiful. From here, go ahead and gather the feet back together. Take a deep breath in and exhale your hands back in front of your heart. This time as you inhale, interlace the fingers, send the palms out and up and rise up onto your tippy toes. And stay balanced here for a moment, noticing the strength of all those tiny little tendons and nerves and muscles around the joint that have to work to keep us in this space. As you exhale, lower the heels down, let the arms come down as well, and fold or hinge at the hips and come all the way forward. Hands to the shins, halfway lift, and then exhale, plant your hands and step all the way back to downward facing dog. Find some evenness in your hips. Unlock your knees. And then bring the feet together at the back of your mat so that you're more in a pyramid shape. So the feet making the tip of the pyramid, the hands are your steady base. And from here, inhale the right leg up and back behind you. Bend your knee and gently open the hip, only if this is available for you. So if it's not accessible, don't go there. If you are opening the hip, do your best to really ground through that right arm. Good, and then extend that right leg back behind you and step the right foot through all the way to the front, stepping into warrior one. Good, inhale the arms up. Hips are squared to the short edge of the mat. Good, and from here, just tip forward so that you're not putting so much pressure in the low back when we're trying to be straight up and down. Warrior one, we're actually supposed to be shoulders in front of the hips, just slightly. And then from here, exhale your hands down, shift your shoulders forward a little bit more. And from here, we're gonna move into Gaurudasan, eagle pose. So we're gonna fly forward, take the left arm and the left leg up and over as you thread yourself into Gaurudasan. Sink your hips down and draw your elbows into your chest as you lift your chest up towards the sky. Sink down a little deeper. And then exhale, reach that left foot back, set it down. Take your eagle arms up towards the ceiling, reach up, stretch the back of the shoulders, and exhale into that front knee a little bit more. Good, release your arms. Inhale, gather prana. Exhale, touch the hands down and lunge. So lower that back knee to the floor and then step back to downward facing dog. Take a breath or two here. Bring the feet together, creating that pyramid shape. And then inhale the left leg up and back behind you, bending into that left knee and opening the left hip. But remember, ground strongly through your left arm and shoulder so that the shoulders stay squared to the floor. Extend that left leg, hip square, draw the knee forward, coming into warrior one on the left side. My mat is a naughty mat today. I washed it, it didn't like that. Good, all right, bending into that front knee, arms coming up overhead, and just play for a moment with this straight up and down. Ouch, I really feel that in my low back. If I take my shoulders forward, whew, it just relieves that pressure back here, which is really good for Vata. Good, from here, lower the arms at your sides, pitch forward just a little bit more. Take a deep breath in, gather your energy, and then push off that back foot as you take the arms up and lace now the right arm and leg over the left, coming into Garudasana on the left side. Again, draw the elbows down into your chest, lift your heart up towards the ceiling and sink down. Deep breath in. You are strong. I am strong, say it. I am strong. Good, go ahead and reach back with your right foot, set it down. Inhale the arms up, reach and stretch out through those shoulders. Exhale, release the arms down, sweeping up, gathering prana. Touchdown, lunge. Good, exhale, downward facing dog. Good, go ahead and set your knees down on the floor. If you're feeling a lot of heat right now, take the knees apart, bring the big toes together. If you need to calm Vata more, bring the knees together. And then from here, wherever you're at, send the hips to the heels and come into child's pose. Beautiful. Take a moment here to let the body regain balance, to even the breath, to slow the heart rate. The body's just doing a little bit of organizing right now. And we'll support that process by being still for another couple breaths. Beautiful. Take a deep breath in. Let it all out through the mouth. And then inhale, coming back to your hands and knees. Lining the wrists and the knees up underneath the shoulders and hips. Turn the toes under and come back into downward dog. Again, bring the feet together on the mat behind you and extend that right leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, draw the knee through, step the foot down. And this time, turn that back heel down, lining up as if you were coming into warrior two. But instead, straighten that front leg and roll the left arm up and open into Trikonasana. Beautiful. So again, if this is difficult, come onto the shin, or you can have a block. Let me get one. Good. So both legs are active. My knees are not locked, but I am reaching into my toes on both feet, to the outer edge of this back left foot and up through my left arm. Now to help the body release a little bit more heat from the spleen, let's take the left arm all the way over, forward. Yes, so you're nice in one long line from that hip to the left arm reaching out overhead. And really reach, like you could touch that wall over there. Good. And then exhale, take the hands to the floor, framing that front foot. Turn your back foot up and set the knee down. Good. From here, we're going to shift the hips back, draw the right toe up, and come into this runner stretch over the right front leg. So with the toes up, I'm drawing my heel back as if I could pull it back towards me. And then I'm folding, just like in our folding, standing fold, taking the torso over the thigh. And you can come in and out of this a few times for a more therapeutic effect for Vata and Kapha. If you're dealing with heat, just stay high. Don't let the belly rest on the thigh. We might wrap or rhyme a little today. If you're needing to calm Vata, find some connection between the thigh and the belly. Good. Go ahead and shift onto your hands and knees, taking that right leg back behind you. And with your hands underneath the shoulders, walk your arms out, lowering the heart to the floor, coming into Anahata-asana, heart opening posture. From here, shift forward like you're coming into Sphinx pose. Lower the belly down. And then walk your arms out in front of you. Come into Pranam. Palms together, forehead rests on the floor. Toes point out. Take 2 resting breaths here. Beautiful. Go ahead and bring the legs back in alignment with the hips. Bring the palms next to the low ribs. Turn the toes under. Go ahead and press up to your hands and knees, and then back into downward dog. And pedal out the feet if you need to. Come up onto the toes, press into the hands, melt the heels down. Good. Inhale the left leg up and back behind you. Exhale, draw it through. Turn the back heel down like you're setting up for warrior 2, and this time find a block, or if you need a prop, placing it on the outside of your left foot, and then straighten that left leg, that front left leg. Bring the block under your shoulders, so we want to keep that in alignment as well, and then open up the right arm towards the ceiling. Good, and reach up for a moment first, and then exhale and take that arm across or above the head, and reach from that hip to the fingers as you press the right outer edge of your back foot down. Stretch the right side. This is releasing heat from the kidney. I'm sorry, yes, from the kidney, but mostly from the liver. But we're also stretching the kidney in the right back. Take another breath here. And then exhale your hands to the floor, framing that front foot. Move the block and lower the back knee down. Shift your hips back as the left toe draws up. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, fold over that left leg. Ardha Hanumanasan, half Hanuman pose. Draw that left heel back to activate the muscles around the pubic bone. And take 2 more slow breaths. Beautiful, coming to your hands and knees, taking that left foot back behind you. And then from here, again, walking the hands forward, lowering the heart to the floor. Take a few deep breaths. You can be on your chin, your cheeks, or your forehead, whichever feels most comfortable. And again, shifting forward. This time coming into Sphinx, anchoring your pubic bone, bringing the elbows underneath the shoulders, lifting up through the crown of your head. Shoulders move down towards the floor. Good. And then release yourself all the way down. Turn your cheek to one side, palms are at your sides. Take a breath. Turn your head to the opposite side. Take another breath. Beautiful. And then go ahead and bring your forehead to the floor and interlace your fingers behind your back. And do your best to put the thumb that doesn't usually go on top. So it's usually our less dominant hand that goes underneath. So put your less dominant thumb on top of your more dominant thumb. And then reach back through the arms, lifting the head, neck, and chest. Good. Looking forward slightly, but keeping alignment in your neck. So really what's lifting is that space behind the ears. We're not trying to take the chin forward. If this feels good for you, try taking the legs up as well. And so this posture is really, really good for what we call the Pranavajasrotas, so our respiratory systems. And the respiratory system feeds us with breath, and breath is the food of your will. So if you're struggling with willpower, with enthusiasm, spending some time in Shalabhasan can really bring an invigorated energy to the Pranavajasrotas and to your willpower. Then release all the way down. Stack your forearms on top of each other. Rest the forehead down. Take your feet wide and come into Makrasan, crocodile pose. Let the upper inner thighs make a nice connection with the floor. This is a very grounding and rooting posture for Vata. It might cause a little extra heat for Pitta. Kapha's just hating all the movement. Take another 2 slow breaths. And come back into Sphinx. And this time, let's square or place our left forearm so that it's parallel to the top edge of the mat. And then bend your right knee and reach back and take a hold of this foot, anywhere that feels comfortable for you to get it. And gently pull the heel towards the glute. Now take a moment here to stretch across the front of your right thigh. This is stretching a marma point. I know many of you were in the marma class, and I know you know what I'm about to say. So this is stretching a marma point on our thigh called Shakti Urvi, which is the root of our energy. And so stretching this point will help to activate it, bringing vitality and energy to all of the muscles in the legs and whole body. Do your best not to just let this foot slingshot away from you. Slowly release that right foot back. Come through Sphinx, anchor the pubic bone, reach up through the crown of the head, and then square your right forearm to the front edge of the mat. Bend your left knee and reach back gently for this foot. Gently pulling the heel towards the glute, sinking into the hips. And you can keep working this left shoulder back, opening the shoulder if that's more comfortable for you. Or you can keep drawing the left shoulder forward, which puts a little more stretch in the quad. Stretching across Shakti Urvi, which is on the top of your thighs, the root of all energy and vitality in the body. Gently release this foot back. Good. So you can go back into Shalabhasan, or you can move forward into Dhanurasana. So for Dhanurasana, we're going to bring the forehead to the floor. Arms are at the sides. Bend your feet. Don't bend your feet. Bend your knees. Reach back and take a hold of the tops of the feet. And first, without taking your knees up, press into your knees and lift your hips away from the floor. Good, and then press the hips down, anchor the pubic bone, One more time, knees press into the floor, lift the hips up. This is a nice remembrance for the direction that the femur needs to move into the hip socket. Good, now anchor the belly down, anchor the pubic bone, press into your hands and start to lift the feet and knees away from the floor. Head and neck come up as well. And remember, again, we're still drawing up or lifting at that space behind the ears. So again, we're not trying to jut the chin forward. We're trying to keep the spine in some nice alignment. And take a few breaths here and see if you can make those breaths even and slow, maintaining the integrity of this posture. Good, and then exhale the whole body down. Good, and for just a moment, rest with your cheek to one side. And then press up to your hands and knees. Cross the ankles and sit back over the feet. Good. All right. So from here, we're going to practice a modification of Janu Sirsasana. So starting in a modification of Halasana or Malasana. Good. Go ahead and bring the palms together in front of you and find some communication between the elbows and the knees. So my elbows are going to press out and the knees are going to squeeze in. And they're going to have a nice little conversation that says, hey, spine, go ahead and lengthen. Go ahead and release. Good. And then extend your left leg out and draw the right foot in a little bit closer to your hip, but keep it wide. We're not trying to come into this position. Good. And then take your left hand kind of diagonally behind you and take the right arm up towards the sky. As you exhale, fold forward, taking this right hand out towards this foot. But again, remember, do what's best for you. If you need to bend into this knee a little bit, that's fine. If you need to stay a little bit higher, like here, totally fine. But my left hand is just kind of making sure I don't wobble over. It's keeping me going forward. Good. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper, you can reach your right arm around and bind the hands behind you. This is really good for kapha because it helps to move all of the joints, getting that synovial fluid active in there, opens the heart. And it's good for kapha because it causes a little bit of extra compression, creating some heat in the body. Keep this left foot active. Beautiful. Wherever you are, take your hands to the floor and sit up slowly. As you sit up slowly, press this left hamstring down into the floor and then come back into this modified Malasana. Finding some length in the spine, just take a breath here. And then extend your right leg out. Left foot comes in, right arm comes to the side. It's nice support. Inhale the left arm up. And then exhale, fold over the right leg. And again, just finding a forward fold that is comfortable for you this morning. I know we all have lots of different stuff going on. But take a few breaths here to support your digestive system. Giving some gentle compression to the descending side of the colon, to the spleen and head of the pancreas. Really flex this right foot, send that hamstring down and sit up. Good. From here, draw the right knee in, bring the feet together, and then let the knees open for Baddha Konasana. Bringing the hands to the fronts of the shin, gently pull the heart forward, and then exhale, round the back, bring the chin to the chest. Inhale, lift the heart, come up onto your sits bones. Exhale, gently round back, chin to the chest. Again, inhale, lift your heart. And this time, exhale, start to hinge or walk forward, coming onto your hands and knees. Maybe coming onto a block. Good. Press the feet together. Go ahead and look down at them, those beautiful feet, and just take a moment. I know they're feet, right? But they don't seem so glamorous. But do you know those guys work for you all the time, all day long, supporting you with no thanks at the end of the day. Who rubs your feet at the end of the day? They're down there all by themselves, keeping us totally grounded. That was my husband. He's behind the camera. And yes, he does rub my feet. I hope you have a honey to rub your feet. We'll take a couple more breaths here. And notice if you're already starting to check out. We're getting towards the end of class. We're spending some time in a forward fold. It's really, really easy for the mind to start to wander here. So use it as an opportunity to recognize that wandering and gently direct your attention back to the breath and feeling into the shape you're in. And from here, go ahead and slowly walk up. Take a hold of the outsides of the knees, assist them in coming up, and then extend your legs out in front of you. Shake them out. Good. From here, sitting up nice and tall, knees bent, extend your arms out in front of you and start to round the back. We're gonna roll all the way down. Tuck your chin to your chest so the head doesn't just fall back. It should be the last thing to touch the floor. Good, and then let your arms rest at your sides and take a moment in this brief Shavasana to let the body organize. All of your cells are singing around and dancing inside. There's literally a dance party happening in your body right now. From here, please bend your knees, place your feet on the floor, and have a block handy, or, if you don't have a block, a thick dictionary type book would work. Just something to give your hips a little lift. Even a little medicine ball would work. A little medicine ball. I see a giant medicine ball. All right, you don't have to have it. It's just nice to have. So from here, we're going to bring the heels close to the hips, to the glutes. Arms are at your sides. And take a second here just to already tuck your shoulders underneath you. And as you tuck them underneath you, don't send the shoulders down away from the ears. Actually bring them up towards the ears. That's more protective for the cervical spine. Good, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, press into the feet, start to find some lightness in the hips as the hips go sky high. Keep taking them up higher and higher so that you start to roll onto the tops of your shoulders. Good, and if this feels comfortable for you, you can interlace the hands behind the back, coming into Settubandasan, bridge pose, chin falling away from the chest, hips going high, strong legs, even breath. If you'd like to place a block under the hips, please feel free to add that support. Go ahead and unlace the fingers, untuck the shoulders, and then roll the spine down from top to tail, very gently setting down the sacrum. Beautiful. From here, go ahead and draw the knees into the hips, into the chest. Just give yourself a little squeeze. And then holding the fronts of your knees, press your knees away from your chest so that you have to pull on them with your arms. Yeah. Good. Then release that. Take the hands to the outside. Your hands are going to squeeze in, but your knees are going to press out. So we're just getting a little muscle strength happening here, very therapeutic. Now bring the hands inside the knees, press the hands out and squeeze the knees in. This is great for your hips. You might feel a little pop in the pubic area if there's any tightness or misalignment there. Good, go ahead and rest your feet down. Take your arms out to a T and walk your feet out a little bit wider and just windshield wiper them side to side for a few breaths. Good. And then again, bring the knees up so that your shins are parallel to the floor. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, slowly lower the hips over to the left. Let your gaze follow the knees over. Good. Once the knees have settled, trace your chin across the chest and look out over your right arm, coming into a very gentle reclined twist. So some of the major health benefits of yoga, as you probably already know, is this action on the spine, any action on the spine. It's all the attention to lengthening, twisting, compressing the spine. It brings a lot of vitality to the tissue. It brings a lot of intelligence into the nervous system. It awakens your tejas on a cellular level. Tejas is that quality of knowing, pure knowing. It's the essence of pitta. Go ahead and look up at the ceiling. Bring the knees up through the center. Place the feet down and just shift a little so that you feel you're in alignment. Then bring the knees back up. Take a deep breath in and exhale slowly. Take the knees to the right. Again, follow the gaze, follow the knees all the way over. Let go. And then chin across the chest as you look out over your left arm. And take 3 deep breaths here. 1 for each area of the spine. So a breath for the lumbar spine, a breath for the thoracic spine, and a breath for the cervical spine. Go ahead and gaze up at the ceiling. Draw the knees back up through center. Good. Take a moment to hug the fronts of the knees. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Take the forehead towards the knees and give yourself a big hug. Like wrap your arms around the front of your shins as much as you can. And really give yourself a hug. Like, I haven't seen you in forever. I miss you. I love you. You're the most awesome body I've ever had. You're my favorite body. Good. Go ahead and release the head back down. Place the feet on the mat wide so that the knees can gently come in towards each other. And then take your 3 middle fingers, the index, ring, and middle finger, and place them just on the outside of your sternum. So the sternum is this bone right in the center of your chest. And you're going to press your 3 fingers into the space just on the outside of the sternum. So this is activating some marma points around the heart, helping to release any unprocessed emotions, helping to release any excess heat, and just overall supporting the whole cardiovascular system. Good. And then from here, go ahead and rest your hands on your belly anywhere that's comfortable. And start to take the feet out, all the way out. And if it's comfortable for you to keep your hands here, please do so. But you can also play with taking the arms out a little bit so that the arms are wider than the shoulders and the feet are a little bit wider than the hips. And then from here, take a moment, just squeeze your feet, squeeze your fists, squeeze all the muscles in your legs, your arms, and your face, and your butt, and your belly. Can you squeeze every single muscle in your body? Squeeze it tighter, 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 and release. Take a deep breath in. Let it out with a gasping sigh. One more deep breath in. Pack that breath in, like get more in, get a little bit more in. Another sip. Open your mouth, release. Good. Take a few breaths and feel the body sinking, getting heavy. Use this as a way to earth, to ground with earth. So even though we're in our space, somewhat disconnected from the earth floor, you're not really. This heaviness connects us to the earth element. And as we breathe and focus on our mamsa, our muscles, and our asti, our bones, we really allow for a greater sense of grounding, a greater sense of settling, and an opportunity for stillness. Just breathe and listen to the sounds around you as the body takes this opportunity to restore and rejuvenate all the organs, tissues, cells, and systems in the body. Noticing your current thoughts. Observe them, and then gently direct your attention to your sense of hearing. With all your focus, all your awareness, put your attention on this one sense of sound. As if you could hear with the whole body. And gently shift your attention now to your sense of touch. Noticing where your body makes contact with the mat or the floor, or the gentle movement of your clothing touching the skin. Every part of you can feel. Feel the air around the body. Shifting your attention now to your sense of vision. And keeping your eyes closed, just noticing the colors kaleidoscoping across the eyelids. Noticing any forms or shapes that appear to you. And in your mind's eye, I'd like you to see a white triangle on your forehead. And in the center of that triangle is a flame, a little fire, Agni. A white triangle with a fire in the center at your Ajna chakra. Shift your awareness now to your sense of taste coming inside the mouth. Noticing the moistness of your bodhika kapha, the saliva, those enzymes that begin digestion. And notice if there's any cravings for a particular flavor. Or maybe there's some leftover residual taste left in the mouth. And finally, shifting your awareness now to your sense of smell, bringing all your attention to the area around the nose. See if you can smell your own smell. Maybe you have an incense or a candle burning. Maybe you just washed your mat and you can smell the lovely soap. We're going to make one more transition from the sense of smell to just noticing the breath, watching it come and go, noticing how it makes the body move and shift with each breath. Start to take more intentional breaths now, deepening the breath and sending it all the way out to the extremities. Even finding as the breath reaches there that there's a little movement in the fingers and the toes. With each deepening breath, we can move the next set of joints in the ankles and the wrists. And then into the elbows and the knees. And then finally into the shoulders and the hips as we stretch the body in all directions. Good. Before we make another movement, I want you to take a breath or two and notice which one of your nostrils is more open at this point in your practice. If your right side feels more free flowing, then I'd like you to roll to the right side. If your left side feels more free and flowing, then gently roll to the left side. Bending the knees and making that transition into whichever side feels more open. This will allow the less open side to be the top side, which will start to bring more energy and prana into that side of the body. Pausing here. And very slowly with your eyes closed, pressing back up to a seated posture. Coming into a comfortable position. And from here, we're going to take the hands behind the back, and I'm just going to clasp my dominant hand with my less dominant hand, and I'm going to make chin mudra all behind my back. Take a deep breath in, and then fold forward, taking your forehead towards the floor. And if you don't have the flexibility to do that, just tuck your chin to your chest and fold forward as far as is comfortable. Otherwise, you can bring the forehead down onto a block, pillow, or the floor. Coming into yoga mudra. This will seal in all of the benefits of our practice today, allowing the body to get the most out of each movement, each intention, and each practice. Tuck the chin to the chest and come back up very slowly, the slowest thing you're going to do all day. And bring your hands back to your lap. Take a moment here to continue to find a very deep, full diaphragmatic breath. In yoga, we call that Dirgusvasam. 3-part breathing. Please feel free to stay in this meditative space for as long as you need. I'm going to go ahead and close the class with our student teacher prayer, ending with Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Please join me if you know it. Join me if you don't. Just mumble along or just let the sound watch over you. Om Sahanau Vavatu Sahanau Bunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Vaditamastu Ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Well, thank you very much. It was a pleasure. I am so happy to see every single one of you. I hope to see you again. If you have any questions about anything we did today or anything happening in the future, just send a shout out. I'd love to hear from you. Have a wonderful, wonderful Friday. Namaste.
Thank you, Cory. Thank you, Skins.
Thank
Love
you,
guys.
Richie.
Thank you.
Ayo.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.